you hear it a lot, but like I believe you got to do at least 100 back tests or something to have any confidence in it at all. And the people don't want to do that work. If they're prepared to do that work and they're prepared to get to the end of that and they know they've got a profitable strategy, how could they not be confident trying to carry it forward?
Welcome back everyone. Today I'm with Adam Scarr, one of our students at Disaster Trade, who's done really well in the past few months. Wanted to bring you on a podcast to share your story, kind of things you went through, get some tips. So Adam, welcome on the podcast. Good to have you here today.
Yeah, thanks Etienne. Thanks for having me on.
Pleasure. So looking forward to discuss with you, but tell me a bit more about what introduced you to trading in the first place. Like, when did you get in the market in the first place?
A long time ago. I got into the market probably 2008 or 2009. I was around at a barbecue at my parents' house. My dad came to me and said, "Have you heard about this thing called Forex?" Because his brother, my uncle, was he'd found one of those black box robots that he thought could print money, and he was just going to retire and be a rich man. And so he asked me all about that because he might have been interested as well. I'm not sure. So that sort of got me to hear the word, and then from there I went home and researched it, and I had a look at the black box robots myself, and they failed for me also, as they do for everybody back in the day. Then I just went down a journey of learning, looking at other paid EAs that you have no idea how they work. Then I found signal services that would give you a signal at a certain time of the day. I was even getting my wife at one point. I'd ring her up and try and get her to put it on because it was back in the days before you could use your iPhone. Couldn't even use your iPhone back then. So it pretty much that's how I got into it, and then just evolved and kept learning, and I've loved it ever since. So I just can't get away from it.
What do you think makes you want to get back to trading? Because you've went through a few things that didn't work. What made you want to go back to it and kind of make it work?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's I guess everyone that loves it just loves it, and it's probably hard to put your finger on it sometimes, but I like the challenge. I like how it challenges me. I always like learning new things. I love as I've evolved now further along. When you do discover that there is a process to it, and that you do need to have a process to get the outcome. It's something that has always attracted me in all my work life and everything. So it all sort of fits together for me.
What would you say are the few key things that got you results the most, got you profitable and got you results the most?
Basically, when it all changed for me, there was a time where, I'd been doing my own accounts for a long time, and, losing little bits and pieces of money, nothing too significant, but I would hit what I probably called my rock bottom, and at that point, I decided I have to do something to educate myself properly, and I started by listening to podcasts like your podcast. That's where it started for me, and a few others, which then opened up my world to hearing from other people that I would have never come across otherwise, and hearing them just be able to talk normally rather than read things on a web page, and then that led me to, talking to, or going to their websites and maybe seeing what they had to offer, and then from there, taking the leap to invest and pay for some courses, your prop firm mastermind being one of them. And that really set me on track to, like in the course, learning about risk management, and Mike was big on that. And just basically setting up for a prop firm challenge, and then from the prop firm challenge, learning that discipline, and then kicking goals from there. I've been funded for over a year now, and moved up the levels with the prop firm, taking another couple of challenges at the moment. So yeah, it's all going really well.
You want to share how much funding or roughly how much funding you have so far with prop firms?
Yeah, so I'm at the 80,000 level with 5%ers. And then I'm with I'm doing an evaluation with a couple of other ones as well. I'm moving towards that 160 level.
Tell me about so some people think risk management is just about like how much you risk per trade and like risking 1% per trade or something. Tell me what else you got out of it other than like how much you risk per trade with risk management.
Well, I guess the not only the risk management, but understanding risk to reward, understanding what your win percentage is, knowing how much you need, what percentage win rate you need if you're going for a 1 to 3, call it, and tying all that together, and then that also leading to the fact that one good trade can wipe out 2 bad trades, and it's not something to stress about. You don't have to chase it, and that can really help with your risk as well, I find.
So some people ask me how quick can you go from like you get profitable to then getting funded by a prop firm. I'm curious to hear how you've done it because I've never kind of gone from profitable to prop firm right away. That's a long time ago for me. So what kind of time frame did you look at for getting profitable then getting funded?
I definitely failed. I failed 2 prop firm challenges before I took your course. I failed another one after that, but not in the same like spectacular fashion. Like it was more, it was a lot more gradual, which means I was sort of getting towards the right track. I still didn't have the system that really resonated with me at the time to get me profitable. So I went back, paid for another course. I searched for a few months to find what really resonated with me, and then learnt that, went back again, passed the challenge. I specifically went for ones that didn't have a time limit at the time. I mean, not many have a time limit now, but they didn't have a time limit because I wanted to take my time. I didn't want that pressure, so I chipped away at it. Probably took me 3 months to pass it, and then I've gone up 2 lots of 10% since then. So probably up 20. What would that be? 26% this year. So yeah.
How do you feel trading funded capital compared to your own capital? Is it about the same thing, or do you feel different trading in prop firm capital versus yours, or?
You get used to it. But yeah, I do believe you do need to go up those levels. You can't. I don't know what would happen if you started at 200, 500,000, $1 million. I think it would just be a different ball game. I mean, I guess you build up from like a $10,000 account where a loss is X amount, and then you start like Forexing that, and then doubling the lot size, and you can sort of build up to it that way. I think it would be very hard to start at a high level, but yeah, I've got used to it over time.
Now that you get funded, tell me what your goals are for either capital or trading. Like, what do you want to get to with this whole thing?
I mean, ideally, I would like everything to be around trading. I've got a full-time job at the moment. I'd like to get to $500,000 of funding in the next maybe 12 months. Would be nice. That'd be a couple of steps in this one, and then passing another couple, which is sort of happening in the background. I want to have more time for family. I've been working a lot. I've started mentoring a few people, which I really enjoy as well. I really feel like I've found something there that it helps me, it helps them, and that helps me as well. I've been really enjoying that, and I've started up a business for mentoring people as well just recently, and I'm hoping to help more people. not so much on, like, I want to try and help people to get the whole, not every strategy fits every person, not every time frame. You have to, like, I just want to find a holistic thing to help people go through those steps that I've gone through to get to where I have, because I believe it's about a lot more than just the strategy, so much to it. So yeah.
That's a good point. There's a lot of people out there who try to like push one way to do everything, like one way to like one strategy to get funded, one way to do everything of the sort, and it just doesn't work out for a lot of people. So it's good that you want to do it the right way.
Yeah, and get right down to, like what you said, what makes them want to trade, what do they want to get out of it, what do they just the whole thing to suit them, to get them confident in the strategy that they pick and just go forward with it. Yeah.
I mean, you're funded $80,000. You're getting, you're working on more challenges. What do you feel is your biggest challenge, or what are the things you struggle with right now? Like, what are some things you're trying to work on or push yourself on?
When I've been profitable, I find that I do struggle with the fact that, if I make 20% a year, like, I think I'm quite happy with that. But to get to the 20%, it takes you the whole year. So, the ups and downs and really just, being very keen to get to the next level, like, while staying disciplined, it can be quite challenging sometimes. I've had to adapt a little bit recently. Probably 2 years ago, I could do I'm using smart money concepts, and I could set a daily level and just trade off it, and they would be big moves, but with big stops, and the swaps weren't too bad. But now I've discovered, the swaps are getting quite out of control sometimes. So I find that that if you take your eye off the ball for a bit, things can really get away from you with the swaps. I found, like, some of my trades had $500 worth of swaps and $500 worth of profit. So I've had to adapt, bring the time frames down a bit, so I can get in and out of the trades quicker. But yeah, it's a constantly evolving thing, and yeah, you cannot take your eye off the ball.
I get a lot of guys reaching out about smart money concepts. They want to trade that way. Some are profitable, some are not profitable. What do you think the common mistakes are for people who they're not able to get profitable with smart money concepts? What do they do wrong?
I think discipline's a big one. I think, you see a lot of the revenge trading. You see a lot of the strategy hopping. There's a lot of like, even with having some people that I'm mentoring and other people that I know, I find that they can be on one thing 1 minute, and then they swap to another thing, and they swap to another thing. And I used to be like that too. But you think back after you do become profitable, you find that probably all those strategies worked if you did things properly. If you went back to the start, if you picked something that suited the time when you can trade, if you journaled it, if you knew what your risk to reward was, if you knew what your win rate was, if you back tested like 100, like, you hear it a lot, but, like, I believe you got to do at least 100 back tests or something to have any confidence in it at all. And the people don't want to do that work. If they're prepared to do that work, and they're prepared to get to the end of that, then and they know they've got a profitable strategy, how could they not be confident trying to carry it forward? But they just want it all. They want it all, and they want it yesterday.
What made you stop strategy jumping? Like, for me, I was just like so tired of different strategies and like trying different things that didn't work. I just decided to stick to one thing. Was it the same thing for you or different?
Yes. It was just well, it took me a long time to get profitable, like, compared to what you hear around the place. And that's just being honest. It took me more than 10 years. But that was because I was stubborn. And I wanted to just go out there and work it all out for myself. And they say, if you don't pay for the education, you end up paying for it in the markets. And that's 100% true. And I just got tired, like you said. I got tired of the things not working out. but I also had to be humble and say, like, I need help. And I've got a little group of people that I talk to on Discord. And when I was in the second course I did, I was in their channel, and the one day I just put my hand up and said, does someone want to be my accountability partner? And from, like, it can't be a coincidence that when I did that, that's when I started going along the track of getting towards being profitable. It can't be a coincidence.
Tell me more about this stuff. So accountability, I know it's big, it's really huge for traders. How do you kind of use that principle to get better results?
Well, I honestly feel, for me, and what's worked for the people that I talk to, even if you have to talk to someone every couple of weeks for accountability and you're doing dumb stuff, it's just human nature to not want to report back to that person in 2 weeks and say, I did the same dumb stuff again, So that puts you automatically, just that puts you on a better path. And then from there, you can talk about, bits and pieces, share information, and it just puts you in a space that you can't be on your own. You can't do it all by yourself. And you can talk yourself out of doing something dumb. You can convince yourself, you can reconcile it with yourself easy enough. But yeah, when you've got that other person there, it makes a huge difference, I feel.
I mean, this is huge. Sometimes people are looking for coaches, and I think there's like a lot of value in coaches, but just having someone you can talk to and be accountable to can also be a big difference. So it's good you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Tell me what people can find you or connect with you if they want to reach out or maybe get some help or just talk with another trader after this interview.
Well, they can go to my website, which is forexpt.com.au. They can reach out through there, and hopefully I can give them a hand if they want one. But yeah, that's the best way.
Awesome. We'll put a link below for that, and we'll put the link of the program that you're on already in our Desire Trade. So it's the Ultimate Profit Training Program. We'll put that below. People can check it out. Thank you, Adam. I used to ask this question to my guests before, but I didn't ask it for a long time. But tell me, if you could give people one advice on how they can become better traders, what would that one piece of advice be?
Well, I think it's important to not give up. They can do it. It's possible, but you have to invest in yourself if you want to get there. Like they talk about that. Like you go to work and you get paid X amount dollars per hour, but in this you don't get paid X amount of dollars per hour until you start being successful. But you need to invest in yourself if you want to succeed.
I love that. Good advice for sure. Thank you, Adam. I appreciate your time and advice here, and hopefully people can get some value out of that, and they'll connect with you and see what you're doing out there. I appreciate it.